Today we're talking about calculating the discounts and percents off if you go shopping. So if you're spending money, this is going to be a big help for you to figure out how much money you're actually saving. Now the formula is right here, and it seems a lot tougher than it is. It says you're going to do 100 minus the percent that you're taking off times the original price divided by the 100. The reason you're dividing by 100 is because at the end you're having to change it back to money. So you're going to have to drag your decimal back. If you're dividing something by 100, basically you just have a decimal at the end of a problem and you're jumping it back to place values. So it's not a terrible process. And we're going to go from problems that are easy, like this first one, 20% off $40, and we're going to get up to the hardest one, which is down here, 25% off of 52, but you're going to notice it's going to follow the same steps. So let's hop into the first problem, 20% off $40. So it's saying the formula is 100 minus the percent off, so they're taking 20% off, times the original price, divided by 100. And you're going to see here in a second why this is probably going to be your easiest step. So let's do it in order as we see it, or in the PEMDAS order, GEMDAS. I have to do what's in the parentheses first. 100 minus 20 is 80. So I did that part. Bring down everything else, times 40 divided by 100. So I say, okay, what is 80 times 40? What is 80 times 40? Well, 8 times 4 is 32, and 1 0 plus 1 0 is 2 zeros at the end, divided by 100. All you're doing is putting a decimal at the end and jumping it over two place values, 1, 2. So your final answer is 32, which means that if you were to take 20% off of $40, you're still going to be spending $32 once you go up to the register. So that would equal up to about an $8 discount. Pretty good. Bigger discount, so let's see how much money you're actually going to be spending. You're going to set it up with 100 minus the percentage you're taking off times the original price divided by 100. Notice that dividing by 100 was probably the easiest part of the whole thing. I'm going to do what's in parentheses first. 100 minus 50, which is 50. Bring down everything else I didn't use. So now I'm doing 50 times 48. Now, unfortunately, I can't do that in my head, so I'm going to put it over to the side. 48 times 50. The reason I put that 0 is I can just drop it down, and that's going to give me the right answer. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. So I figured out 50 times 48 is 2,400. I'm done with that. I bring down the 100, and that's just telling me to take my decimal, which is at the end, and jump it over to place values. So that means when you go up to the register, you're going to end up spending $24, which is a big discount. You start off at $48, you're only spending $24, so they split that price in half. The next one, 70% off of $86. That's a huge discount. Let's see how much you're actually spending. I set it up as 100 minus 70 times 86 divided by 100. And what you're probably noticing is that what we're figuring out whenever we're doing 100 minus 70, we're figuring out the percentage, which in this one is 30, the percent of the original price you're actually paying. So you're multiplying the percent you're actually paying times the original price of the product, which is $86. And then at the end, you're dividing it by 100 to make it back into a decimal number that you're actually going to be paying once you get to the front of the store. So 30 times 86, I can't do that in my head. 86 times 30, and I drop that 0 down here because that's just how you do it. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So whenever I multiplied 30 times 86, I got the answer of 2,580. And then to divide it by 100, all I'm doing is I'm jumping that decimal over 2 place values. So that means whenever you go up to the counter, if it was originally $86 and you got it 70% off, you're only going to be spending $25.80. Kind of some consumer math going on. Now this is the most difficult problem, although my steps aren't changing. 100 minus the percent that's getting taken off times the original price divided by 100. So 100 minus 25 is 75. You're going to be paying 75% of the original price times 52 divided by 100. You say, well, why is this one harder? It's just because we have a more difficult multiplication problem to set up. So I'll put it over here just so I have space. 75 times 52. And if you struggle with multiplication, this is a good kind of mini lesson to learn. You're going to multiply your 1's first. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. You're going to multiply your 2 times your 7. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. You've multiplied everything by that 2, so you're going to skip a line and put a 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. And I need to add those two numbers together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 1 plus 7 is 9. And 3. So I figured out that 75 times 52 is 3,900. To divide it by 100, all I'm doing is taking my decimal and jumping it back 2 place values. So that means if something costs $52, I'm getting it 25% off. Whenever I go up to pay for it, it's going to cost me $39. So that's how you find percent off. The formula seems really difficult, but I promise it's a lot easier once you're working it out. Just remember the formula, which is 100 minus the percent off times the original price divided by 100. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a like, a comment, and a follow and subscribe. Thanks.